Welcome. This is Wakey Time, Demons, Part 3 of our 1-year anniversary. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hinduism. Hinduism advocates the reincarnation and transmigration of souls according to one's karma. Souls, Atman, of the dead are adjudged by the Yama and are accorded various purging punishments before being reborn. Consciousness. According to Hindu cosmology, nothing is either purely evil or good, and even demonic beings could eventually abandon their demonic nature. Humans that have committed extraordinary wrongs are condemned to roam as lonely, often mischief monsters, spirits for a length of time before being reborn. Many kinds of such spirits are recognized in the later Hindu texts. Even celestial beings are subject to change. The identification of Asura with demons stems from the description of Asura as formerly gods. The Deva Sakra tricked the Asuras from liquor and hurled them down the steps of Mount Meru, claiming heaven solely for the Devas. In the Veda, gods, Deva, and demons or titans, Asura, are not yet differentiated beings and both share the upper world. Rather than denoting a separate class of being, the Asuras are characterized by being great leaders, often warriors. Asura, in the earliest hymns of the Rig Veda, originally meant any supernatural spirit, either good or bad. Since the S of Indic linguistic branch is cognate with the H of early Iranian languages. The word Asura representing a category of celestial beings. Oh, that's why it became Ahura, like Ahura Mazda. Is a cognate of the old Persian Ahura. Ancient Hinduism tells that Devas, also called Suras, and Asuras are half-brothers, sons of the same father, Kashyapa. Although some of the Devas, such as Varuna, and also called Asuras, later, during Puranic age, Asura and Rakshasa, came to exclusively mean any of a race of anthropomorphic, powerful, possibly evil beings. Daitya, sons of the mother Diti, Danava, sons of the mother Danu, river, Maya Danava, Rakshasa, from harm to be guarded against, and Asura are sometimes translated into English as demon, but there's obviously more going on there. At the time of the Brahmanas, that the Asuras are said to inhabit the underworld and are progressively, despite originally distinct beings, assimilated to the Rakshasas. During the Vedic period, gods aid humans against demons. By that, gods secured their own place in heaven, using humans as tools to defeat their cosmic enemies. Now we're getting somewhere. The Rakshasas are often portrayed as vile creatures associated with greed and magical abilities, unleashed through rites considered inappropriate by the Brahmins. However, the Asuras retain some of their previous features and function often as individual leaders of the Rakshasas. The Asuras also mostly dwell in the heavenly worlds, while the earth is plagued by lower demonic beings such as Rakshasas, Bhutas, Pretas, and Pishakas. The pretas are ghosts who could not go to the afterlife yet. The pishakas, likewise, are spirits of the dead, but associated with eating human flesh, which doesn't make any sense unless you're talking about aspects within you. With increase in asceticism during the post-Vedic period, withdrawal of sacrificial rituals was considered a threat to the gods. Ascetic humans or ascetic demons were supposed to be more powerful than gods. Pious, highly enlightened asuras and rakshasas such as Prahlada and Vibhishana are not uncommon. The asura are not fundamentally against the gods, nor do they tempt humans to fall. Many people metaphorically interpret the asura as manifestations of the ignoble passions in the human mind and as symbolic devices. There were also cases of power-hungry asuras challenging various aspects of the gods, but only to be defeated eventually and seek forgiveness. Despite the impermanence of beings, demonic entities share characteristics impeding the chance of liberation through the realization of the Atman, such as greed, pride, or improper rituals. Atman. However, all demonic appearances are only temporary. Buddhism classifies sentient beings into 6 types. Devas, gods and celestial beings. Asuras, titans or demigods. Humans, animals, preta, ghost. Naraki, hell being. And as Hinduism, all these beings are part of the samsara. Since Buddhism rejects the existence of a permanent self, an Atman, ghosts and evil spirits such as Bhuta, Rakshasa, Pretas, and Piseka are not inherently evil, but reborn in states of misery as the result of bad karma. They may have good and evil characteristics, just as any other being in samsara, but suffer more than beings of better rebirth. Only beings born in hell may be considered demonic in the sense of an intrinsic evil creature. However, they cannot leave their infernal place and harm none but each other. This seems more compassionate than our Western theology. Once their evil karma is extinguished, they are reborn in upper realms. Asuras belong to one of the 4 unhappy or evil rebirths, along with animals, ghosts, and hell beings. They are characterized by anger, jealousy of the gods, and pride. Despite appearing as the enemies of the gods, asuras are not evil, but have both good and bad karma. However, since their lives are pervaded by unwholesome states, rebirth as an asura is considered to be undesirable. Many texts mention anger, conceit, and doubt as causes for birth as an asura. These are all aspects of consciousness, thought, emotions. The early Buddhist sutras mention speaking evil, thinking evil in the mind, and arising of thoughts of superiority lead to rebirth as an asura. I just said that. Combined with a good deed. Beings from the realm of ghosts and hells rise up by becoming an asura on accord of good action, whereas beings of the celestial worlds descend through the malicious actions by rebirth as an asura. When Buddhism spread, indigenous ideas about ghosts and demons were integrated into Buddhist teachings. For example, in Chinese cultural tradition, people offer food in order to appease the suffering of pretas, hungry ghosts, during the Zhongguan festival. Such beings are not evil per se, and they are not precisely demons. The closest equivalent in English language may be the term jinn, adopted from Islamic beliefs. Even though Buddhism does not deny the existence of ghosts and evil spirits, they play not important role in the search for liberation from the circle of life. Because if your aim is to escape from samsara, they're not of any importance to you. Nirakis are born in hell as a result of intense negative karma, wherein they suffer in a state of continuous torment until their bad karma is extinguished and they cannot accumulate further bad karma. Their actions are confined to the bad karmic action they previously committed but turned into an agonizing experiences, consciousness. Additionally, hell is inhabited by demons or hell wardens who ensure that beings born in hell are continuously tortured. This reminds me of your thoughts. This posed the question if the demons in hell are real or merely an illusion. Vasubandhu argues that every being in hell must be by definition suffering, and since demons do not suffer in hell, they are not real, but only illusions. It is because of the result of their bad karma. The inhabitants of hell perceive demonic hell wardens, and thus the latter are merely a projection of the former. Folks, you can overcome your karma now. Demons may thus be understood as personifications of correlative mental states projected onto the external cosmos. Everything is. The Pali Sutras represent the unenlightened people as possessed by the demons of desire and craving. These two self-destructive feelings then cause the images of horrifying demons. In a state of enlightenment, the Buddha, you, me, has overcome such passions and by that conquered the demons, conquered your thoughts. Aboriginal Australian cultures have various beings translated into English as demons or devils. The most notable is Bunyip, which was originally a term applied to malevolent spirits in general. Tasmanian mythology in particular has many beings translated as devils. These include malicious spirits like Regio Rapper, as well as spirits summoned in magic. Tasmanian Aboriginal people would describe these entities as devils and related that these spiritual beings as walking alongside Aboriginal people carrying a torch but could not be seen. Chinese folktale, legend, and literature are replete with malevolent supernatural creatures who are often rendered demons in English translations. These include categories of beings such as the Yao, shapeshifters with the power to cause insanity, to inflict poison, and to bring about disease, and the Mo, derived from Indian mythology and entering through the influence of Buddhism. In folk belief, these beings are responsible for misfortune, insanity, and illness, and any number of strange phenomena that cannot easily be accounted for. Epilepsy and stroke, which led to either temporary or permanent contortions, were generally seen as the results of demon possession and attacks. Belief in wilderness demons haunted China from the very earliest periods and persisted throughout the late imperial era. In the Xia dynasty, 9 bronze cauldrons with their forms were cast to help the common people to identify and to avoid them. 9 means consciousness. Classical texts in the Zhou and Warring States period distinguish between the demons of mountains and forests, the seductive Chimee, demons of trees and rocks, and necrophagus fever demon, the Wang Liang, subterranean demons of the earth and of decay, the goat-like and necrophagous Finyang, grave goat, who cause disease and miscarriage, and fever demons born from water. These demons were said to be born of apparent breath or energy. The ki, the chi. Energy, known to accost and kill travelers and held responsible for sickness. Born of apparent ki. People also feared the Muling, tree spirit, tree swelling, demons, forming over time in trees of immense age, capable of inflicting disease and killing human passers-by and birds flying overhead. Examples include the Pinghao drumbeat marquis, a demon associated with camphor trees in mountain forests, and which takes the form of a human-headed dog. Interesting. And in the southern provinces, the banana leaf spirits. From the Tang Dynasty onwards, belief in shape-shifting foxes, tigers, and wolves, amongst other creatures, also featured in Chinese folk belief, partly due to the existence of outlawed fox spirit cults. Fox demons are described cunning and lustful, capable of clairvoyance, and of inflicting disease and poisoning at will. They are sometimes seen as beings requiring worship to be appeased or placated. Tiger demons and wolf demons are ravening beings roaming large territories for prey, taking the form of humans to conveniently insert themselves into communities and settlements. Tiger demons are described as being enslaved souls of humans they have killed, turning them into minions. In the superstitious climate of the previous centuries, people mistaken as tigers and wolves in human disguise were often put to death or starved in their cells by magistrates. Fish and snake demons are said to have attempted to assault Confucius. Even insects are capable of being demonic. In one tale, the sighting of a centipede demon in the form of an old woman without eyes is said to have led to the sickness and death of an entire household. One notable demon not in the above categories includes the Heixing or Heike Black Calamity or Black Air, a kind of roving vapor demon that inflicts damage to persons and property wherever it roams, sometimes killing where it goes. Another are undefined poltergeists, sometimes afflicting monasteries, causing serious nuisances and unable to be exorcised. So there's a whole different thing going on in China. I'm going to research. I'm also going to do Korean mythology, which I already have a video for. Prepared, unprepared. I have to do the research. You don't know shit about Korea. So, a lot more about China that I don't know. I don't know shit about China. China has two classes of beings that might be regarded as demons and which are generally translated as such. Yao, a kind of uncanny supernatural creature, usually with the power to shapeshift, to poison or cause disease, and to bewilder or enthrall. They are associated with sorcery or sorcery-like powers. They are not always evil in the sense that Western demons or the Chinese Mo are, but are represented as having malevolent tendencies and as creatures of ill omen. They are often invoked as an explanation for strange events, bizarre occurrences, mysterious diseases, and horrible accidents. They resemble the unseelie fae of Celtic legend and folklore in their powers and predisposition, and are sometimes translated as fairies or daimoons rather than demons. Mo, derived from the Mara of Buddhism, and are almost always evil. This kind of being is morally corrupt and rebels against the moral law and heavenly principle. Taoist cultivators, fallen Buddhist monks, gods and mortals who have succumbed to an evil inclination are said to have become demonic or become diabolical. Ru Mo. As such, it is often a condition and a state, rather than always being directly the result of a certain innate heritage. Furthermore, certain beings derive directly from Indian mythology, such as the Luocha or Rakshasa and Yeka or Yaksha, however, are classed as being innately demonic types by heritage, but are nevertheless represented of being capable of repentance or turning to good. Native American. 2 sentences. That's how much research these people at Wikipedia have done. The Algonquin people traditionally believe in a spirit called a Wendigo. This spirit is believed to possess people who then become cannibals. In Athabascan folklore, there is a belief in Witchugi, a similar cannibal spirit. And that's it. That is it for Native American demon Wikipedia. Psychological interpretations. Islamic world. A minority of Muslim scholars in the medieval age, often associated with the Mu'tazila and the Yamites, denied that demons, jinns, devils, dives, etc. have physicality and asserted they could only affect the mind by was, which means demonic whisperings in the mind. Some scholars, like Ibn Sina, rejected the reality of jinn altogether. Al-Jahiz and Al-Maz Udi explained jinn and demons as merely psychological phenomenon. In his Kitab al-Hayawan, Al-Jahiz states that jinn and demons are the product of loneliness. Such a state induces people to mind games, causing wasways. Al-Mas'udi is similarly critical regarding the reality of demons. He states that alleged demonic encounters are the results of fear and wrong thinking. Alleged encounters are then told to other generations in bedtime stories and poems. When they grow up, programming. When they grow up, they remember such stories in a state of fear or loneliness. Programming. Subconscious programming. This encourages their imaginations, resulting in another alleged demonic encounter. What you think becomes reality. Your emotions become your reality. Western world. Psychologist Wilhelm Wundt remarked that among the activities attributed by myths all over the world to demons, the harmful predominant, so that in popular belief, bad demons are clearly older than good ones. Sigmund Freud developed this idea and claimed that the concept of demons was derived from the important relation of the living to the dead. The fact that demons are always regarded as the spirits of those who have died recently shows better than anything the influence of mourning on the origin and the belief of demons. I have no idea what Freud is talking about there. Never heard of that. M. Scott Peck, an American psychiatrist, wrote 2 books on the subject. People of the Lie, The Hope for Healing Human Evil, and Glimpses of the Devil, a psychiatrist's personal accounts of possession, exorcism, and redemption. Peck describes in some detail several cases involving his patients. In People of the Lie, he provides identifying characteristics of an evil person whom he classified as having a character disorder. In Glimpses of the Devil, Peck goes into significant detail describing how he became interested in exorcism in order to debunk the myth of possession by evil spirits, only to be convinced otherwise after encountering 2 cases which did not fit into any category known to psychology or psychiatry. Peck came to the conclusion that possession was a rare phenomenon related to evil, and that possessed people are not actually evil, rather they are doing battle with the forces of evil. Psychosis. Although Peck's earlier work was met with widespread popular acceptance, his work on the topics of evil and possession has generated significant debate and derision. Much was made of his association with and admiration for the controversial Malachi Martin, a Roman Catholic priest and former Jesuit, despite the fact that Peck consistently called Martin a liar and a manipulator. That might warrant some research there. People caught up in their own psychosis, battling with other people caught up in their own psychosis, and you're not allowed to admire them, you're not allowed to praise them, even if you disagree with them. That sounds familiar in our world today. So my friend mentioned reptilians. I know if you've Googled something lately, you get an AI overview, which is sometimes just ridiculous. I don't know who's programming these things. So here's the AI overview of just typing in reptilians. You think you get turtles and snakes and the like. No, it immediately starts attacking people. Reptilians. AI overview. The idea of reptilians refers to a baseless conspiracy theory that posits a race of shape-shifting reptilian humanoids secretly controls humanity. This theory was popularized by conspiracy theorist David Icke, no it wasn't, who claims these reptilian aliens have taken human form to gain political power and manipulate human societies. And that's not the theory. But, according to AI Overview, key claims of the reptilian conspiracy theory. Secretive control. The theory alleges that a race of reptilian beings controls human affairs globally from behind the scenes. Genetic manipulation. Some versions claim that these reptilians, known as the Anunnaki in Icke's writings, I'm not real sure about that, created human reptilian hybrids to act as their puppets. He does talk about that. Prominent figures, adherents believe that many world leaders, public figures, and celebrities are actually these reptilian humanoids in disguise. Do their genealogy research. They believe that. Feeding on fear. One variation of the theory suggests these interdimensional reptilians, sometimes called archons, they're not. Feed on the negative energy created by human fear. Ancient origins. Icke's theory links to ancient Sumerian myths, with the Anunnaki being described as a reptilian race from space. That is not what those stories are talking about. They're about consciousness and meditation. Origins and development. Ancient myths. While modern proponents point to ancient myths involving serpent-like beings, these references typically hold symbolic meanings rather than representing literal reptilian overlords. Earlier esoteric ideas. Theosophist Helena Blavatsky's late 19th century writings mentioning serpent-like beings are sometimes cited as an early precursor. She knew better. David Icke. The theory became widely known in 1999 with David Icke's book, The Biggest Secret, which claimed the reptilians were an ancient race of extraterrestrials. Incorporation of other tropes. Over time, the theory absorbed elements from other conspiracy narratives, such as the anti-Semitic tropes and ideas from older esoteric movements. They don't give you any examples. No idea what they're talking about. None of this has anything to do with anti-Semitism. Scientific and evidentiary rebuttal. I got news for you, folks. I have evidence. People have evidence. This is just bullshit. It says, no credible evidence. There is no credible scientific or empirical evidence to support the existence of reptilian humanoids. I beg to differ. Psychological explanations. Critics suggest belief in the theory can be attributed to psychological phenomena like confirmation bias and pareidolia, where people see patterns or faces in random images. None of that has anything to do with anything I've ever experienced. Historical and biblical inaccuracies. The theory is based on misinterpretations of ancient texts and biblical passages that use reptilian or serpent imagery metaphorically. That I agree with. Link to anti-Semitism. Here we go. The reptilian conspiracy theory has been linked to anti-Semitic beliefs, incorporating tropes about secret elites controlling the world. Has nothing to do with Semitism, unless you are one. If you're an anti-Semite, which for some reason today only includes the Jewish people, there are plenty of other Semite races, including the Arab people and many others. Secret elites controlling the world. Wider implications. Misinformation. The reptilian theory has been used to advance misinformation and has been linked to real-world violence. Okay. Modern myths. It is an example of a modern myth that capitalizes on societal anxieties about power, manipulation, and control. Power, manipulation, and control of this world is not a myth. Somebody is in charge. Who runs the world? Which is the question my friend asked me. Thoughts and emotions run the world. Thoughts and emotions create the reality we live in. 8 billion people's thoughts and emotions. And the billions of people who are being manipulated by people who run the world. Their thoughts and emotions are affected by all what's going on, and they're being fed and told and manipulated by science and waves and everything. So forget other races and demons and aliens and all that stuff, and you just have the 8 billion whatever people. Their thoughts and emotions run the world. You want to add in all those other races of beings, then their thoughts and emotions are intermingling and mixing together with that too, which is where you get the Enoch stories from. It's all about consciousness. Thoughts and emotions run the world. What are people? We are just thoughts and emotions, controlled or uncontrolled. You're either controlled by somebody else or you're controlling your own. You decide. What are reptilians? A race of people. What are people? Thoughts and emotions, controlled or uncontrolled. What are demons symbolically in all the stories? All the stories we just talked about, thoughts and emotions. If they're real beings, what are they? They're thoughts and emotions. They're people. So my friend's right, yeah. Demons run the world. Reptilians run the world. People run the world. I'm right also. Because it's all just thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts are your own, and they're not at the same time. Same with emotions. So who runs the world? Everyone's thoughts and emotions. Everybody. What do you want to see? What do you want to experience? You have control over that. You can have control over your own destiny if you do the instructions, and you can become weird. This is It's Wakey Time. 1 year anniversary for me and those who have been watching. Happy Halloween. That's when I will release this. It's Wakey Time. Demons. I love you. Take care of yourself, everybody. Thank you for watching. This is the end of part 3. Good day and good night.